Welcome to Hastings Outdoors, straight from the Mississippi Flyway to your hearts. Let's go! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to yet a Get Off the Table. Welcome to an episode of Get Off the Table. I am your host. No, welcome to an episode of Hastings Outdoors. And for those of you who are just listening, Sam was trying to walk on the little table desk thing I have here. Anywho, coming to you not live in any way, shape, or form, as always, from the Dream Building Garage, ladies and gentlemen, the world-renowned garage where dreams are made. If you haven't heard of it, I'm sorry, but now you have. The home of the Hastings Outdoor Studio. Welcome. Come on in, have a seat. I believe this is episode 38. I'm not sure. And Sam, you are no help right now chewing on the studio. Hey, how you guys doing out there? Doing all right? Hopefully this finds you well. I want to open this podcast, this episode, with the Hastings Outdoors mission statement. I've mentioned it several times in the past, but I want to try and incorporate this into the beginning of the podcast just to kind of set the tone for the podcast. So the Hastings Outdoors mission statement is sharing my waterfowl experience and promoting conservation of our natural resources. Now, that may be subject to change over time, but that's the goal, guys. That is the goal. And hopefully I can make you laugh in the meantime. Hopefully you get some tips and tricks. We'll see. Sam, you are chewing on my hand, dude. Chewing on my hand. All right. So that being said, guys, getting the official introduction stuffs out of the way. Gonna jump into project updates, guys. The main and ongoing project right now is getting this little rascal trained, teaching him some manners and working on training so he can be a good retriever. He is a good retriever, but a good waterfowl retriever specifically. So, did you not bring any toys out here? Okay. But, yeah, guys, I've been diving into that a little bit. I actually spoke about the book I had from Wild Rose Kennels. Goodness gracious. Off to a blazing start with that. I haven't got that far in it. I've just been so strapped for time lately. It's been kind of crazy. But I have watched several videos on different techniques, different styles of training. I've looked into e-collars. I've looked into a lot of things. And since I opened Pandora's box and said e-collar, let's just go ahead and talk about that here shortly after I get through project updates. But the other project updates, guys, oh my gosh, guys, I mentioned in the last episode that I was changing up my decoys from teal to obviously more duck/mallard centric, getting ready for duck season, which opens Saturday morning. So as of this recording, I've got 3 days. Well, 2 days left and then hunting. But so I was trying to get my decoys switched over, and I grabbed all my Texas rigs, whatever you want to call them, and we're just going to call them Indiana rigs because I think that's funny. Don't worry about that. But so I'm getting them all switched over, guys, and I realized, oh, shoot, I don't have enough. So somebody had the great idea to purchase a bunch of decoys while they're on sale via Rogers Sporting Goods. Shout out to Rogers. If you're listening or anyone finds out about this, hey, guys. Hint, hint, sponsorship, hint, hint. Just kidding. But so I didn't have enough Texas rigs for my decoys, guys, and so I was in a slight panic for about half a second, and I did some research trying to buy some weights because I still had material to make them. However, the cost of the weights was more than the cost of buying the dozen pre-made rig 'em right Texas rigs. So I did that, and thankfully Amazon Prime is speedy fast, and I got that taken care of. So decoys are good to go. Got my waders out, checked them out, and yeah, I'm not sure, guys. I'm not sure what else is left to do. I got the heater all switched over with the hoses. That's ready to rock. I got the LP cylinder ready to go. Probably not going to use it this weekend. I'll dive into that in just a second. But as far as project updates / season prep, at this time of the year, being so close to season, they're kind of blended together. So, yeah, you're kind of getting project updates and season prep all in one right here, guys. But as far as Saturday morning goes, I'm not really sure of a location just yet. I have some ideas in mind. I haven't had a chance to go out and scout just yet, but Friday I do plan on scouting and checking out a couple of the places I want to go, and to see, one, are there birds there, and two, to try and get a game plan together on what where I'm going to set up, that kind of thing, based off the wind, where the weeds are, where the birds are, that kind of thing. Because oddly enough, and crazily enough, the first hunt of the second season is also going to be the first hunt in a kayak for me. I really don't, as of right now, I don't desire to take the Dragonfly 3 out by myself. And actually, some of a handful of places I'm looking to go, well, that should be pretty good, or decent. I mean, it's northern Indiana, Mississippi Flyway. If you've checked out migrationstationusa.com, we don't get a lot of birds here. We get a lot. Well, we don't get a lot. We get mallards. We get Canadas. That's about it. There are some woodies in the area, but I haven't seen one in the flesh. So, yeah, not a lot of mix, guys. I think last season I saw some black ducks, but that was about it. So, that being said, not the best duck hunting here in northern Indiana, but you can still get after them. You can still get them. Definitely not going to get those North Dakota numbers by any means, but I still love it. Still want to get after them. Anywho, so depending on where I see fit to go, most of the places I'm going are relatively smaller lakes. The one's called a lake. It's basically a big pond. And the other one is slightly larger, but it's also narrower. So we'll call that a big narrow pond. Not so much a pothole that they have out west per se, but in the Central Flyway and whatnot. But smaller lakes, very small lakes, big ponds, whatever you want to call it. And so I think the one is like 5 acres, something like that. So as far as a body of water goes, not big. That being said, a lot of the lakes I want to go to are actually part of state property, part of the public land where I can hunt, and a lot of them are actually electric motor only. So, I mean, that's fine. I have the trolling motor on the Dragonfly 3, but the Dragonfly 3 Junior, I think, is going to be the best option as far as hiding goes. I can tuck that thing up in weeds a lot better than I can the Dragonfly 3. And plus, the Dragonfly 3, I've got the blind on it, but on these smaller lakes and smaller bodies of water in general, I think it's a lot harder to hide a full-size boat with a blind because there's, for most of the places I have the opportunity to go, there's not a lot of really tall vegetation, cattails, sawgrass looking stuff, whatever it is. I'm not really sure the names of it, guys, but the tall weeds where you can hide, the reeds, whatever it is, there's not a lot of that there. It's pretty marshy. The whole area is pretty marshy, but not a lot of tall grass. And so that is basically a determining factor for me because wanting to be able to hide, that's the biggest thing. And ease of functionality, whatever you want to call it, trying to make this as simplistic and easy as possible with the greatest results possible, or potential, I should say. So yeah, that's the goal. Saturday morning, after I scout Friday, I'm going to take the Dragonfly 3 Junior, aka the kayak, and going to get out there after some birdies. Fingers crossed, Lord willing, the creek don't rise. Hopefully it's a blessed day. Every day's a blessed day, but hopefully it's a blessed hunt. Let's put it that way. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, guys. I don't think I've ever actually kayaked in the dark, so that'll be kind of cool. Obviously, I'll have like headlamp and stuff like that, but that'll be kind of interesting. I'm going to try and utilize my scouting time Friday to, one, determine where the best spot will be, and two, to also determine out of those spots, whichever one I deem the best or most suitable, most likely candidate, determine where I can hide based off wind direction, stuff like that. And so a lot of things to take in consideration, but checking the weather consistently. And actually, guys, believe it or not, this is the craziest thing. This happens most of the time here in northern Indiana. This week, for whatever reason, the temperatures are crazy warm. Today's a little bit cooler because we had a front come in, bringing some rain, but not much. And yesterday, I think the high was 78. And the rest of this week, they're calling highs for the 70s up until Friday. And then Saturday, the high is 57. But Friday night into Saturday night, it's supposed to stay around 47. So that's still kind of cool. And also, towards the end of the week, there's supposed to be a decent front coming through, bringing some rain, bringing some wind. And that's good. That's exciting for me. So depending on the direction of the wind is also depending on where I'm going to be hunting from on said bodies of water. And in case you guys don't know, when you're waterfowl hunting, you want the wind at your back, and you want your decoys downwind of you because waterfowl like to land into the wind. Kind of cool. Kind of opposite of kind of opposite of deer hunting. So that's cool. But yeah, actually makes it a lot more comfortable too, not having the wind in your face constantly like you would for a whitetail. But yeah, that's the game plan, guys. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. And I have been seeing birds in the area, not a ton, but I have been seeing birds. It seems like we had an early push of Canadas come through, and that was okay. But that happened about a month ago. And so, still seeing them, but not as much. Hopefully that means they're just hanging around the area, hitting bodies of water, hitting fields and stuff like that. And, I don't know. I don't have time to drive around the entire county just to see what's up. And I haven't been seeing as many ducks. I've been seeing ducks on water, but I haven't seen many ducks moving. And unfortunately, the spots I've been seeing ducks, I can't hunt them because they're in city limits. That's how it always goes, guys. But yeah, so that being said, the weather's looking good. Hopefully, I can find out of the handful of places I'm interested in going. Hopefully, I can find a suitable spot and go from there. So we'll see how it goes, guys. I will definitely have some reports on the inaugural or the first I wouldn't say it's the maiden voyage because I already used the kayak, but the first kayak hunt. We'll see how it goes. I'm not sure what to wear though. That sounds so goofy. Sounds definitely not masculine, but we're talking about hunting, so I think it's okay. I'm not sure what to wear though. See, here's my conundrum. The waders I have, they're nice. They're insulated, but they're also neoprene, and the boots are kind of bulky. The waders themselves are kind of bulky. In a boat, not bad. In a kayak, not sure. And so I'm not sure what to wear. I do have alternatives. I think, honestly, guys, I'm going to end up wearing my muck boots with my Drake waterfowl pants, and then my Sportsman's Guide gear jacket, coat thing, whatever, over it. And definitely wearing layers. That's one thing I didn't think about. Do I have a sweatshirt that's appropriate? Gonna have to look into that, guys. But definitely a couple layers. I might wear a sweatshirt, find some sort of sweatshirt that's suitable for hunting because I'm not going to be in a blind, that I can, camouflage-esque, whatever, waterfowl-esque, that I can use to hunt. Excuse me. But the low Friday night is 47. That's not bad. Now, with a little bit of wind, it could be chilly. But like I said, guys, the pants are waterproof, so wind's not really getting through them. The boots are insulated. Good to go there. And with the jacket coat thing I have from Guide Gear, I'm not worried about that. The only thing that concerns me is if I do get warm, having camouflage as an underlayer, that way I'm not just sitting out there and whatever. I'll take care of that. You guys don't need to worry about that. But, I am beyond ready, guys. I am beyond ready. I'm super excited, super stoked. And I really hope to see birds. The overall goal is to harvest some waterfowl. But at the end of the day, as long as I can see birds and hopefully convince them to work a little bit by calling and whatnot, that's great. We'll go from there. But so back to what I mentioned now, like 13 minutes ago, I cracked Pandora's box on the whole e-collar thing, and I have to admit, so 100% honesty here, guys. Previous to having dogs of my own, really in my younger years before I was an adult, I thought e-collars were a bit extreme. And I thought that was something that was reserved for just, super aggressive, super out of control, whatever dogs, you know, all the stereotypical stuff. And I thought the concept of an e-collar was somewhat borderline on that fringe line of inhumane. And I will say, looking back, that was simply just based out of ignorance. And for those of you who don't know, I'll give you a brief rundown. An e-collar, that term encompasses a lot of types of collars that have basically a box on them. And a lot of people think of them as a shock collar. That is one type. But most of them nowadays, they have a lot of different settings. And the shock part is only used for, the most extreme cases. And by the way, the shock that it delivers, it's not that bad. I've done it myself. Years ago, we had a couple of dogs, some Aussies that, they were good dogs. They weren't, honestly, they didn't seem that bright. But, man, they were just crazy. So we started with obviously training and stuff like that and trying to train them as best we could. And very strong-willed and driven dogs. And we ended up getting just a bark collar because no matter what, they're always just making noise. Whether they're happy, whether they're upset, whether they're mad, whatever it is, they're making noise. They're making noise constantly. And I'm not saying that's breed-specific. That could have just been dog-specific. But it got old after a while, You're trying to lay down in bed to get up for work in the morning at 3:30 in the morning. And all you hear all night is woof, 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 constantly. It'll drive you up a wall. So we got the bark collars, which is it's a type of e-collar, which it essentially just vibrates, just like your cell phone would vibrate, something like that. Once it feels on basically the throat, it feels the vibrations of the noise. I think that's how it works. It may just be an audible sensor, but once the dog barks, it'll vibrate a little bit, and the more they bark, it'll continue, and it doesn't hurt the dog, but it's a very unnerving, uncomfortable thing. Yes, I tried it on myself too, but it's just a little reminder of, hey, don't do that. And so I tried that, and eventually, one thing I ended up switching to an e-collar with multiple options for these dogs because even though they were decent dogs, they were smart enough to learn most things, but they just wouldn't stay in the yard. They would not stay in the yard, and honestly, I got sick of it. And unfortunately, I did quote the price for what do they call that? Invisible fence type deal, and wow, to cover the area I wanted to cover to give them room to run, exercise, and play, and all that stuff, it would have been a couple $1,000s, and that's me doing it myself. So I opted not for that. I opted away from that option. Took that right off the list and said no. So I did get an e-collar, which it was a lower end one. It wasn't anything fancy. But it had a beep mode. It would beep, so the remote, you could just hit it and it beep and it'd make an audible beep or whatever. Kind of an audio cue for the dog. Then it would have a vibrate mode, which had I forget how many settings, and then it did have the shock mode or whatever you want to call it, that had many settings too. And so I think I only used that a handful of times over the course of how many years or however long, and it didn't seem to faze these dogs. And the only time I really used it is after I'd already started the beep, started the vibrate, with verbal commands also, and the dog wasn't stopping. And so I would much rather see the dog get a quick little half a second shock that isn't going to harm them or damage their skin or anything like that. Um, just enough to get their attention, then see them run in front of a car. And that's kind of the scenario I was in. And so just trying to get that dog to stop. So that being said, guys, I got long-winded on that. But that being said, the e-collar is a tool, and it's a very serious tool. It should not be used flippantly. It should not be used with someone who doesn't know what they're doing. If you don't know much about dogs, if you don't know much about e-collars, don't do it. Do your research. Go talk to a trainer. Talk to several people and study it before you even go looking to buy one, because you can actually make things a lot worse for yourself and the animal than actually make anything better by misusing that e-collar. And just please never, if you do go the e-collar route, never give that e-collar remote to anyone else. Period. Just don't. Because at the end of the day, you are responsible for your animal. And honestly, even with your kids, even with older kids, I wouldn't recommend it unless they are old enough and mature enough to know that, hey, don't push that button. No matter how frustrated you get, no matter angry you get, it may not be the right setting or the right application. Anywho, getting in the weeds on that. But so moving forward, as far as training goes, little man's doing all right. He's doing just fine. The biggest things that I've been working on with him now, he understands sit. That's good. He understands come, or some people use heel. I'm working on that too. So transitioning to, just other than, hey, come, to a heel and follow, actually healing. And yeah, so working on basic commands and other little behavioral things. He still likes, and God bless him for this because he's playful, he's a puppy, I love it. But jumping up on people, myself, my wife, the kids, anyone who's been around, jumping up, that's a big no-no in my book, because one, with little kids around, not a good idea. He's not huge right now, but if he does that when he's older, he can actually knock a child down. And that in and of itself isn't necessarily going to hurt the child, but if they fall and hit their head on the TV stand, if they fall and hit their head on the steps outside, something like that, there's a lot of ways where it's just a bad recipe, and I want to take care of that right now, versus potentially having that issue drag out. So one of the things that I've learned through research and stuff like this, and I kind of agree with this tactic, that's why I'm using it, is I forget, honestly guys, I forget where I heard this from, but when a dog jumps up on your leg or whatever for attention, jumps up on your stomach, whatever it may be, just gently, push them down, give the command down or no, and then here's the key. Do not, after you've corrected them, do not pet them. Do not give them the attention. So what I do with Sam here is once he jumps up, he may be excited, he may be playful, maybe wanting attention, whatever it may be, that's fine. That's normal. But when he jumps up, I'll give him a gentle push, give him the command down or no. I've been using down a lot more lately because I use that for other things too. So for example, if he's sitting on the chair or someday when he's on the tailgate, if I point and say down, you're kind of already halfway there. So but once I correct him down, I'll actually put my hands in my pockets or cross my arms or something like that and turn my back to him, because the biggest thing I've seen through my interweb research and experience, all that good stuff, is that a lot of people have the tendency to push the dog down, say, no, don't do that. No, stop. No, don't do that. Get down. Be good. All that noise. And then they immediately pet the dog and give the dog the attention it was seeking at the wrong time. It's fine if your dog wants attention. That's a good thing. That means you have an opportunity to build trust there and build that relationship there. However, if you don't correct the bad behavior, or you correct it and then immediately, reward that bad behavior, you're not going to get anywhere. So that's kind of where I'm at with him right now. Potty training, guys. I don't want to throw a wrench in the gears here, but it is going fantastic. Literally from day one, I think there's been 2 accidents in the house, and here we are at about a week now. Has it been a week, Sam? Yeah. So that's pretty good. Um, really smart dog. And I'm not just saying that because he's my dog. I'm saying that because I've been around enough dogs. He's he's working with some intelligence, and that's a good thing. Now that can be kind of hard sometimes if he decides that he doesn't want to do something and gets stubborn because he is a smarter dog. But we'll work on that later. But kennel training, crate training is going well. I'd say the first 3 nights or so, a lot of whimpering, a lot of whining when he went into the crate. That's normal. But he is responsive to commands. If he gets carried away, starts pawing at the door, or whatever it may be, quick no, that kind of stuff. For the most part, it worked within 2 or 3 commands or corrections. And so potty training is going fantastic. He did have he did have one excuse me, one incident in his crate, and I think that was just because he's still adjusting to everything, and with everything going on, the excitement, the attention, the playing, and the new environment that he's growing accustomed to it now. I think that um, he just waited too long. He just held it too long because there were the biggest thing with crate training, kennel training, whatever you want to call it, potty training in general, is you want to give them as many opportunities as you can to go outside, so they can naturally take care of business. And so the biggest thing I've been trying to do is we'll just start, when my alarm goes off in the morning, he goes out, or I let him out of the crate. He goes outside. He has an opportunity, a handful of minutes or so to do his business. And he's actually started coming up to the door when he's done, so that's cool. And for the first 4 or 5 days, I went outside with him, and not to play, not to not to really pay attention to him. One, to make sure he's not wandering somewhere he shouldn't be. He's not heading towards the road, anything like that. But also, I walk out to an area where he went to the bathroom before, and I will walk to that area and get him to follow. So in the morning, when he most likely has to go, he walks to that area. He smells, oh yeah, hey, I went here. I need to do that again. That kind of thing. And so now I let him out and watch, and he does the same thing. He'll go to the area he went to before, take care of business, come back in. And so things are going good. And the biggest thing is, like I said, is giving them opportunities to go. So even after that, my wife will let him out again, and then I'll get home probably 4 or so hours after he's been let out the second time. He will immediately go out with me again, and then during the day or the afternoon when I'm doing the podcast, he's with me, and then he has plenty of opportunities to go out. So sometimes, guys, you will run into issues with potty training to where it seems like you just can't get ahead of it enough. So you keep having accidents, whatever. And so be patient. I know it's frustrating, especially sometimes you may feel like you've made progress, and then you feel like there's a regression, and all of a sudden this dog who for a week straight went outside to go potty, no messes in the house. Now it's, every other time there's a mess, something like that. Be patient and be consistent. And I had an experience before where for a good handful of days with a different dog, I would literally take them out every hour. At least for a couple minutes, every hour we're going out in the grass, coming back in. And that is tedious, and it's frustrating. It is time consuming. But here's the thing, guys. If you guys bought a dog, you knew the risks. Sorry. Buying an animal, a pet, hunting dog, whatever it may be, it is a monetary investment. It is a time investment, and it can be an emotional investment too. If you have a heart, even the Grinch's heart grew. So, well, shout out to the Grinch for my wife. She loves that for some reason. But you, if you're a decent human being, you eventually will get attached and form some sort of bond or relationship with a pet. Now, maybe not so much a fish. It's kind of hard, but dogs specifically, horses. For some people, cats, and pray for those people because they need delivered from that. But yeah, shots fired on the cat people. Not a cat fan. Um, mostly because I'm allergic, guys. I'm allergic to cats. So naturally, I've taken that as a sign that cats aren't good. Anywho's, so it's an investment, guys. It really is. And if you're not willing or able to put in the time and the effort and the money to take care of this animal and provide them the knowledge they need, the information they need, the training they need, and the resources, food, etc., then don't do it. Don't do it. You're going to frustrate yourself, get yourself overwhelmed. It's not going to be a good scenario for you. The pet is most likely not going to be trained very well. Even the most extraordinary and highly intelligent animal is not going to thrive in an environment like that. So, I mean, I can't tell you how to live your life, but I would strongly encourage you that if you don't have the time to invest in that animal, then just wait. Just wait. It'll be better in the long run if you wait until your schedule changes or life changes and you have the time to do that, whatever it may be, to invest into your pet, your dog, whatever it may be. Then if you rush, you get all excited over a puppy, and then you get an animal that is really hard to live with because of that lack of investment when it comes to time, training, and all that. So, long spiel on that, guys. So, enough about dog training. Let's talk about goose calling, guys. This, oh my gosh! In previous episodes, I've mentioned this several times. This has been the bane of my existence for a while now. It's been the thorn in my side and the insurmountable mountain here. And why, I don't know. I feel like I had a mental block. Excuse me. I felt like for whatever reason, there was just something, I just could not get it. I could not get it. And I'm not that great yet, but I have been practicing, and actually I found a video. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up real quick because I've scoured the internet and YouTube and all resources available to me for instructionals, tips, tricks, whatever it may be, for goose calling. And a lot of them provided good information, but for whatever reason, it just didn't click. I couldn't take the information and translate that into calling. Now, I'm not trying to brag on myself or anything like that, but usually with a lot of things, I learn very quick. If I can watch it, if I can hear it, if I can see it, then I'll pick it up relatively easy for most things. But goose calling has been a pain, and it's been a struggle. So I've had to, oh my goodness, sorry guys, I got to type here. I've had to really work at it and study and try to figure out how to make a goose-ish noise out of a goose call. Now, this is for those of you who are interested, a Primos honky tonk. According to what the internet and / Google says, this is supposed to be one of the easiest beginner calls. I don't know how I feel about that, but it's $20-$30, something like that. And I'm trying to find this video, guys, because I want to share this video in the hopes that anyone out there who may be having the same issue can benefit from it, hopefully benefit from it like I did. And I'm struggling to find it here, guys. So hang on. That's the loading music. All right, here we go. The title of the video is Mastering Short Reed Goose Calls. So for you who, oh boy, I better pause this quick or you guys are going to hear some noise. Pause. All right, I think I got it. Okay.
A little bit too much. So.
Nope, I didn't get it.
If you get that note.
All right, there we go. So, it just started like halfway through the video too. I don't know why. But, okay, so the title of the video on YouTube is Mastering Short Reed Goose Calls. And it is from Sean Mann Outdoors, SeanMann Outdoors. I don't know anything about the channel, don't know anything about Sean or whoever that is. But different types of goose calls. Your short reed call. I need to switch screens so I can actually see, and hopefully you guys can see this too. Short reed call. Where can I frame it? Where can I frame it? Right there. Short reed call, similar to a duck call, slightly larger. Almost grabbed a wood duck call. So, very similar. I don't know if you guys, how well you guys can see that, but the size difference is one of the big indicators here. Trying to frame this a little bit better for you guys. So, pretty much looks like a duck call, a little bit bigger. That is a short reed goose call. Now there's also a goose flute. Oh boy. This is the, it's Primos again, guys, and I bought it because it was dirt cheap, and honestly, I bought it out of desperation. One, because I don't know how goose hunting is going to go. Yeah, I'm excited at the opportunity, but I'm not completely invested yet. So, save money, cut my teeth, go from there. So, as you guys can see, hopefully, if I can frame this decently, you have your short reed on bottom and the flute on top. I don't know why they call it a flute. They could have called it a whistle or just a long call, something like that. It didn't have such a weird name to it. But, yeah. So, not to kick the hornet's nest here too much, guys, but a lot of interwebs peoples, not a fan of the flute call for whatever reason. Apparently, the cool, hip, in style thing is the short reed call. The short reed call, I will say, is more difficult than the flute call. Flute call is kind of your more traditional, standard, old school type way of doing it, I guess, from what the internet has said. So take that as a grain of salt. But yeah, so two different kind of calls. And what is this one? This is just the Primos Canada Goose Flute, and it's got this little bit of hose tone flexion dealio thing here, which I don't know if that's necessarily necessary. But so back to this video real quick, guys. In this video, and I will try to put a link in the description for you guys, just to try and share information. I'm not looking for any credit from this by any means, but back to the short reed call. A lot of the tips and tricks he gave in that video were extraordinarily helpful, and a little more helpful than some of the other videos I've seen. And so he talked about, I mentioned previously that there was one video I watched where the gentleman said to change that pitch and get that call or break over, you want to raise the back of your tongue like it does when you say K. And so I struggled, much to, well, there wasn't a lot of success with that, guys. I tried to do that and raise my tongue to the back of my tongue to the roof of my mouth, and that's a gymnastics experiment that is not worth trying. You'll drive yourself crazy trying to perfect that, unless you're just talented. I don't know. But that wasn't working for me. Every once in a while I'd get kind of a honk out, but I couldn't get any consistency with that. And it was just, honestly, guys, it started to hurt after a while. And I'm like, I don't think that's the way to do it. And so much research led me to this video by Sean Man Outdoors. And he mentions, think of it like whistling. So the honk is essentially a 2-note call. It starts off low, and then there's a quick, shorter pitch change up at the end. So he said if you can whistle like that, good boy. He said if you can do that through the call, and that's pretty much how you get that honk down. And so bear with me, guys. This is going to sound amazing, I know. So I'll try to demonstrate and see if I can get you guys to laugh out there. Something like that. And so me trying, I'll try to do it the other way I was doing it. And basically what he said, he just raises his tongue. He's not trying to lift the back of it. He's just raising his tongue, from the bottom of his mouth to the top of his mouth. And how fast you do that, sorry, another little tidbit here. How fast you do that also changes the pitch on the end. I haven't quite got that yet, so I'm not going to try to demonstrate that. But if you want a lower note at the end of the honk, the second note, so that second note that at the end, If you want that to be lower, raise it slower. If you want it to be higher, you raise it quicker. I'm still working on that. But he said another tip is that can make it sound like there's several geese calling, honking, whatever. And so, kind of lost my train of thought there. Oh, yes. So the other way of doing it, raising the back of your tongue, I don't even know if I can do it. We'll try to do it, and I'll show you. I'll try to demonstrate on how it didn't work for me. Kind of, I don't know. It might be functional, but it feels like a more unnatural movement to me than to literally raise your tongue up and down, up and down. So roof and mouth, bottom mouth, roof and mouth, bottom mouth. And if you guys are struggling with the short reed goose call, as I have been, check out that video. One thing I recommend, you guys know you better than anyone else, other than God. And so one thing I have learned in my previous experience when I'm trying to learn something is I have a habit of trying to jump in head first to a lot of things. And so one thing I've tried to do to throttle myself and make sure I learn information and build upon information correctly is if I'm watching an instructional video, I will literally sit down, put the call away, especially for calling, I should say. I'll put the call away and try to just watch the video beginning to end. And maybe I'll make some notes, something like that, and then I will start over and then use it as a walkthrough tutorial. So when he said if you can whistle like that, okay, well, hey, you know what? Pause. I'm going to try that. So just tips and tricks maybe to help you guys. Yeah, so however, the goose flute, this sucker makes a lot of noise, and I feel like it takes a lot more air, but it's also easier to use. And I'm going to try and do this without deafening you guys. So bear with me as I figure this out. I'm going to move the microphone away excuse me, hiccup thingy there, temporarily. And see if we can get Sam to howl on this one. I'm not good at this, so bear with me. Something like that, guys. Like I said, I am a 1,000% rookie on this one. Just beginning. I literally got this the other day. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens, guys. I was actually, believe it or not, I was actually looking for a video on how to use the goose flute because everyone's like, oh, it's easier to get goose sounding-ish sounds out of it. And I was like, well, hey, I got this. Let's see if it's easier. Not really. But while looking for a goose flute video, I found that video on short reed calls. I'm like, hey, why not? Let's try it. So, I don't know. Long little short rant, whatever you want to call it, about goose calling. And hopefully that helps you guys. And like I said, I will try to get that link for that video in the description because for whatever reason, that video was far and away the most helpful video I have watched as of right now as far as goose calling goes. There's been several that I've watched, and some guys just get on there and just all that junk. And it's like, that sounds cool. How do I do it? And yeah, you never get to that part. So, the search continues, guys. The learning continues. I will get better at this. Much practice ahead. That being said, guys, I'm getting kind of long here anyways. So the next time you hear the Hastings Outdoors podcast, it will be after goose and duck opens, after hunting season opens for me in the northern zone of Indiana. And so hopefully, fingers crossed, Lord willing, that I have good report for you guys. Either way, it's going to be a good experience. I can get out there, get after it, and pursue game. And hopefully I have something to show for it other than a good time and enjoying nature. That being said, guys, hang in there. If you're still waiting like me, hang in there. It's coming. Get your stuff ready. Get your gear ready. Get everything checked. Check your waders. Check everything. Make sure you got your gear ready to rock so you can get out there and get after it and do so, hopefully, successfully and safely. That's the biggest thing. I will point out just a little PSA here at the end of the podcast, guys. Get out there, enjoy the outdoors, but do so in a safe manner. No, I don't know. I'm just going to say this. No duck, no deer, no game is worth your life, period. On the hierarchy of life value, humans are at the top, plain and simple. So that being said, guys, be safe, get out there, get ready, get after it. And until next time, guys, have a good one. Have a good day. I'll catch you guys later. Peace. Check out Hastings Outdoors on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Thanks for listening.